Philadelphia Eagles are 3-0. They are being called a great team nationally, and that is why you, as a Philly fan, should be excited. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Philly Sports Now, a Philly fan podcast. My name is Zach. With me is Andrew, and we're here to talk all things Philly sports. Now, I got to tell you, I had all the intentions in the world coming into this recap episode to come in here hot, fired up, curse words flying left and right. I was ready. I'm ready to fight some fans, Andrew. But I'm giving the warning right now that I'm a little, not under the weather, but a little overworked at the moment. And the energy is running on empty, we'll say. So I just don't care enough to call you all lazy and losers. So just know that when we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles being a 3-0 team, winning, that if you're complaining right now, I think you are a loser. That's the best way to put it. That's the kindest way I can put it. And I'm so, if you listen to the last episode, but everyone freaking about uh oh my god, Kevin Patullo, like he like I don't know. It is I what is this, the third year in a row we're doing a new offensive coordinator, and we're shocked somehow that he has to figure out how it works. And it's just something that I just think is kind of embarrassing to look at as an Eagles fan. Like I'm just downright embarrassed to see the utteral hatred he is getting. Now, criticism and hatred are two different things. If you want to be critical of him, that's we can have that conversation. And I think this game shows everyone keeps calling it the tale of two halves. I think this game shows literally the learning curve happening. I think first half Kevin Patullo is doing the same thing he was doing in week 1 and week 2, which was against, by the way, two good teams. Cowboys went and lost against the Bears, so maybe not a good team. But whatever you want to say, the Chiefs are still a dynasty team, whether they're on their way out or not. To go into Kansas City and win that game is never not going to be something I bring up this year, I think, is the best way to put it. Um, so to have these struggles, to still find ways to win games, these are the things that we should be excitedly talking about while also criticizing Patullo's game plan in a way that he needs to adjust. He needs to reevaluate. So he's playing conservatively. This is why you need to actually let loose and play with the receivers. He's playing conservatively. This is why if you let loose with the receivers, that opens up the running game, which is going to be a core part of this offense. He's still figuring out, I think, the entire offense, which it's frustrating. I get that, but to start calling for jobs, to say they're a bad team. I mean, we're undefeated. We're going into week 4, 3-0. With the worst case coming out of week 4 is going to be 3-1 when I thought we were going to be 2-2. So I just I don't know. I'm very of the mindset of the the game is kind of this weird situation where I think people are not looking at it correctly. And I don't I think it's because people are so spoiled from the Super Bowl. I think they just want immediate win. Like a ton of things didn't change on the offensive side. And I think it's a really illogical thought process people are having. Not that Philadelphia fans are the most logical sometimes, but I think there is a lot of rage and emotion that is just not necessary. And I think it's just being put somewhere. So, all that to being said, I think this game pretty easily should have been a loss. And I think the defense does come out and save you. But this defense is why we're winning games right now. And a great Eagles team can be made of that great defense. So I just there's a lot to get into. I've already jabbed about just not even the game itself. So Andrew, what's your raw thoughts coming after this win against the Los Angeles Rams?
Think going off what you said first is I think a lot of it has to do with what your star players say after the game. I mean, I think to ignore what Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown both kind of hinted towards, I think they both kind of I don't want to say took a shot at your own offensive coordinator or called him out. I don't know what the right word is, but I think that's part of where the fans in this case are coming towards is where the players are at. I mean, you hear AJ Brown talk about it after the game. You just got to let the killers on this offense be the killers that they are. You hear Jalen Hurts say, "We got to stop playing not to lose." So it sounds like the players, in a way, and you kind of saw Hurts get more animated than ever on the sideline after that first touchdown to Goddard, kind of like say, "Let's go." So I think that's where fans have the issue right now. Is I don't know if you really did see um, that transition period. I think it was more, you were down 19-7, then you fumble and give up the touchdown. You're down 26-7. You were kind of forced to go into that mode. So I think that's where the fans are still hesitant. And I think if you don't have your two, arguably, not arguably, two of your top three offensive players come out and say those things, I think maybe you're looking at it different. But I mean, I know my eyes widen when I hear Jalen Hurts tell Palm Oliver right after the game in his Fox interview those things, and AJ Brown in the locker room, especially Brown, who's been so hesitant to say anything when he wasn't getting the ball, and he finally got the ball, and that's what you hear. So
My only
that's
difference
my
there
take on
is
that
I
part.
think Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, well, AJ Brown being AJ Brown, but Jalen Hurts, speaking up, I think that's criticism. I think that's valid, point taken. You can see it on the field criticism, as opposed to just I mean, I've seen so much shit on Twitter in the past 48
Yeah, no,
hours.
I don't disagree with you. I see what
It's
you're saying. I'm just saying I think that's a lot of it where it stems from as
but that's
well. On
and I
top of that,
love that Hertz spoke up. I really do because I think the problem that probably was going on with Patullo was either he was playing conservatively because he was trying to hide things, which I don't believe that, but I think that's a possibility.
yeah, I don't think
But
it's high.
what I think is more likely is he's still trying to figure out what works for the team and him. Like there was something I saw, I forget if it was McAfee or I don't know, Anthony Gargano or whoever, I don't know, one of the sports guys. Um, and they talked about like just let Hurts throw the ball. Like he's a great quarterback. Just let him throw the ball, and that's absolutely true. He is a great quarterback, but for the longevity of this team to succeed, to go get another Super Bowl, be it this year or next year, like your offensive coordinator, your game caller, your play caller has to know how the team works. And I think it's that I don't even think it's because we talked about before the season started the possibility of trying to make your mark, right? Like trying to show like, oh, I came up with this thing that worked, you know? I don't even think it's that. I just truly think he's still figuring it out. And the tale of the two halves, it's it's a matter of do we believe that Hertz called the second half, or did Hertz shake him up and they worked together on that second half?
Second, I think Hurts shook him up and they worked together.
And
It's his first.
I
It's his. It's his
completely
first.
agree.
It's his first time calling plays, so I mean he is still getting the hang of it, and I mean it's going to go without saying. You got Dallas Goddard back. You're missing him. A big part of the run game is he's a really good blocking tight end as well. And then you saw him catch the touchdown. So yeah, it's gonna start to shake out and get into a good spot, and it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting going into Tampa because they're a very heavy blitz team. So I'd be curious to see if they go back to the Kansas City style play calling where they get more conservative and a lot of runs and stuff like that. But no, in terms of the game itself, it was a tale of two halves. I mean, you were down 19-7 at halftime. You get that first drive on the fumble to go down 26-7, and then I don't know what woke them up, but something woke them up, and they took off from there. And I mean, just credit to the team for battling back. I mean, that goes without saying, but I mean, they didn't give up at all and somehow found a way to win that game. I think, we're all sitting there at 26-7, like, wow, this is kind of alarming. This is kind of the wake up call. And luckily for us, they got the wake up call in game. It wasn't one of those, wake up calls afterwards.
And I think that's a great point, dude, is that it's one of those things where like if we come out of, I mean, I thought we were going to lose this game and you come out of this game with that loss, and I think that in itself is, one of the moments. It's the sobering moment. You're not the team that won the Super Bowl. You have a different offensive coordinator. You guys haven't figured out a new game plan. We have to move on. And it kind of feels you said it, but it kind of feels like somehow that happened in the 15-minute halftime.
Well, and that's the big thing is every. I mean, last year was the bye week. Luckily, as you mentioned earlier, you were 2-2. You had the bye week. You fixed everything there. Now you're fixing everything while still going, and you got to survive to the bye week. This year it's obviously later, but you're finding ways to win. You're not 2-2. You're not 2. You're 3-0 right now. So you're doing what you have to do, and the guys that need to step up are stepping up. I mean, Jordan Davis. I mean, he talked about it in his press conference, right? He got challenged by the coaching staff because they were losing guys due to money. He was challenged to come into better shape, play more snaps, and he's answering the call. I mean, I know it's 3 games in, but he's answering the call big time to start the season. And I mean, enough can't be said about what Jordan Davis is doing to start this year and what he did in that game. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the block kicks. But one of my favorite moments was, and I get it, Stafford isn't the fastest quarterback, but seeing a defensive lineman chase down Stafford when he's scrambling out there. Again, I know he's not the fastest quarterback, but still, to have a lineman chase down a quarterback like that shows you the shape he's coming into these games.
And that's a great point. That was another thing I heard on the radio that it was it was this moment of comparing the past to the present because younger Stafford and younger Davis isn't in shape enough to chase down Matt Stafford.
Correct.
Whereas present day Jordan Davis is in better shape than present day Matt Stafford, or at least
Yeah.
better than past Jordan Davis and is able to catch up to Matt Stafford. You know what I mean?
36-year-old Matt Stafford.
That's what like it's pretty amazing to see his progression in a great way. And we can talk about the blocks now. I mean, it's a pretty simple concept, but I can't so I forget. Was Carter's block also a fourth quarter block, if I remember correctly?
Yes, it was. Yep.
And that's what that one was more on the lucky side. And it was like, but he did something that worked, and they definitely like discussed it, and then Jordan Davis was able to repeat it. Because like what I'm trying to get at is you do that once, totally lucky. You do that twice, they had an eye on the kicker.
Jordan Davis after the game, he was actually really good listening. I suggest anyone to go back and listen to it. But he talked about it. He said even on the one they made to start the game, he said as time went on, like they realized he mentioned the launch angle of the kicks, and he talked about it after each kick. They noticed something, and that's when they were able to get it. And then when they got the first one, they're like, all right, that's what we have to do. And so it's funny that they listen to he broke it down. Like he said, after that first one, they realized how low that kicker's launch angle was, and then the breakthrough they had. And it was cool. It was a cool listen. And he dove into what they saw throughout the game after each kick. And he mentioned that him and Carter, talked about it. And then, and that last one, they got to it. And I mean, for a guy like him to go, I don't know, you saw that stat, 18.5 miles per hour he reached.
Yeah, it's super funny too because of course everyone's talking about how the Eagles backdoor covered the game because
Yeah.
sure the block kick was gonna get the win, but they weren't gonna cover the 3.5. Then Jordan Davis runs in for that touchdown, gets you an extra 7 points on the board, man. It was really funny having that like just completely ruined so many sports bettors days. The only thing
I,
I bet on this past Sunday was a AJ Brown touchdown, so I was able to cash that in. That was nice.
I believe Gargano said, too, the game over as
I
well.
don't have that offhand,
I
but the
can't remember. I think
total
I
is
think he was listening to him, but
that it had to have gone over because oh, do you
just,
mean because of his touchdown?
yeah. I think it was
Gotcha.
26-27, so that would have been 53. I don't know what the game over was, but
I do not have it here. I'm not.
I would put it at 59. I was curious. I thought they were supposed to kick the extra point. I guess I know it's hard after the celebration, but if you think about it, if you're down 7 and that happened, you're going to kick that extra point. So I thought that was funny that they didn't,
Yeah.
um, spread that out. So no, yeah, but it was exciting. I mean, I don't know about you. This kind of putting you on the spot, but I was trying to think of a more exciting regular season game. Like obviously we've had our playoff shares and Super Bowls, but
Hmm.
I was trying to think of a more like I don't know what game you compare that to regular season wise. That
In
obviously you
recent
could go. Obviously you
memory,
go to the Deshaun Jackson one, but I actually missed that one because I was a young kid then playing rec basketball.
see, dude, that's what like I mean, I remember older stuff, but I mean everything I'm gonna think of is in recent memory as like up. I've been watching the Eagles forever, but my recent memory of game details is definitely like starting with Wentz era. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
and
I think that game, the game he got hurt, you could probably throw in there.
that
That was
that's a pretty big
Rams. That's
moment.
funny, actually. That's why it was the Rams too.
But that was also a negative thing. So
Yeah,
I think this is definitely, man, I hate not on the spot thinking, but I would put this up there. I also think this year has such high potential for moments like these. Like between like not to spoil our Tampa Bay talk, but we always talk about how tough a game in Tampa Bay is. So like let's say there was an upset for the Eagles down there, right? Like although I'm sure the Eagles are going to be favored. I don't know what the spread is. Um but let's say the Eagles do go in and win that game. Like to me, I think that's a huge win. And that cuz you know what's funny? One of my most memorable, although I can't remember which one it is offhand, you might be able to say it. But one of my most memorable moments in the Eagles' history as far as games goes is when they lost I believe it was an NFC championship game to Tampa. Would that have been a
the game
game
got killed, smoked.
but
That
like
Jalen Hurts' first playoff game when they got blown out to Brady.
no. I'm talking
Oh,
like
sorry, you said the
Andy
NFC.
Reid
Oh,
era.
you're talking about the NFC. Sorry, the NFC champion. That was like early 2000s. So like
But
02.
that's what did
The
that
game
once.
McNabb threw the interception.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that is it. And that's what like
that was like
I
02.
have always not disliked Tampa Bay, but like kind of feared them since that memory. And that's why like I never assume a win. Again, I'll say spoiling my thoughts for next week, but I've never assumed a win against Tampa Bay. I think because of that game. And so like again, talking about moments this team can create or memories this team can create this year. You talk about going into Tampa Bay and getting that win. You talk about Detroit coming into Philadelphia and getting the should have been NFC Championship from last year, right? And it's like I think there's a lot of cool moments this year that could happen that could create like even more interesting things. And this game was a great like preview of that. I can't get over this win, to be honest. It's quite frankly the fact that the Rams wanted this so badly. They talked about looking at this game since last spring. Like
Yep.
that's how big of a deal this game was. And the Eagles still stole it from them. And look, the Eagles are a good team. I don't think anyone here is debating that, but I don't think enough is being said internally about how great they are.
Well, no, because we've become the enemy, and I love it. Um, Everyone hates us. Like it's simple as that. Like you listen to some of these big time analysts and stuff like that. I mean, you have one of the best quarterbacks of our lifetime, Drew Brees, coming out calling the Eagles' offense very boring, one of the most boring offenses he's ever watched, and he hates watching it. Um,
Did you
you
hear
have
Joe Buck came out and defended the tush push?
yeah, no, he did. Him and John Gruden came out and defended it,
I
and
love it
yeah,
because it's very
well,
much
and
a it we have gotten to the point where the Eagles, especially this year, are winning just gritty pound the rock football. It's like Barkley's not getting 200 yards a game or something crazy like that, but we're running enough, we're passing enough, or sorry, receiving enough. Like we're doing just what's needed to win games. It's like if we were to go into baseball, every game is a 2-1 victory or something like that. Like we're not hitting 5 home runs every game or something like that. We're just winning. But that's what makes it so much sweeter is because it's just the Eagles are unstoppable, it feels like.
yeah, no, I mean 17-0 in last 17 games. Jalen Hurts has started and completed.
Jalen Hurts may
Um,
never lose a game. May
Yeah,
never lose a
I mean,
game.
that's a full season worth, and no, I mean, and that's what I love. And then on social media too, you get all the Eagles get away with all the penalties and stuff like that. No, the Eagles have become the villain. It's awesome. It feels cool. Like honestly, I love it. I love reading all that stuff. Like, and I think
It
that's
is
really, I think it's really why it's become overlooked on how good this team is. Because while fans do realize it, and we sit here and talk about it. I mean, from the national media, I mean, you're constantly seeing guys attack this Eagles team, and you get the Hurts talk on national media. He's not the best. He's not a good quarterback. He's in a good system, and he can't throw the ball, and this and that. And I mean, you look at the games he's needed to step up, and all he's done is stepped up with his arm. I mean, say what you want, but I mean, look what he just did on Sunday. He were down 26-7, and with his arm, he came back. I can't remember, over 200 yards. He had the touchdown passes to Goddard, Brown, and Devontae Smith. I mean, he needed his arm. He used his arm. Like the Super Bowl last year, when he needed a deep ball, he threw the ball to Devontae Smith for the dagger in the Super Bowl. I mean, he
I
might not
truly
use it for the 500 yards, but he uses it when it's needed, and
I
that's what
think at
makes his
this
team special.
point, all of the Hurts negativity or Hurts doubt, I guess, is one of two things. It's either internal because Eagles fans can't be happy, or it's external, specifically trying to rage bait Eagles fans. Like I've heard enough national media coverage praising Hurts to the point of if you're not praising Hurts, you're definitely doing it just to try and push buttons.
Yeah, you're trying to get the clicks, and it
Yes.
works. I
Yes.
mean,
And it does. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'll title this video, something like Hurts bound to lose tomorrow.
I'll do that. No, I will say the one thing I thought was weird and something they need to fix going forward because it was a problem was the other end of special teams with the return game. All the weird kicks that the Rams were doing, kicking at the ground, and we kept muffing them, and that's kind of where our setback started that game. Is we kept having this terrible field position because I don't know what it was. I guess it was a weird kick to the ground and created the weird bounces, but I think that kind of also set the offense back a little bit and put them in a tough spot because you're expecting to start on the 25, 35-yard line and have different plays, but then you're starting. I mean, we started within the 15. I mean, at least 3 or 4 times in that game. That changed the whole type of play calling you want. So I will defend the play calling in that sense is you got to get better field position to start.
As far as concerns goes, to go off of that, sorry, I feel like I didn't add to your thing, but I did want to. It made me think of the concern I want to talk about,
Yeah,
and it comes down to injuries in the sense of Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson. Well, obviously Lane went out in the game, and that was a big, big deal. I still don't think Dickerson's okay. We talk about everything Hurts has to deal with, and now on top of that, his guys are his offensive line is banged up going into week 4 in a way that's not good. And when you're still trying to figure out the run game, when you're still trying to figure out, the offensive game in general, that's a tough look. And I already forget the guy's name that came in to replace Lane Johnson during the game, and he was
Matt
absolutely
Pryor.
and he was so bad they took him out. Like it's that's tough. And I think you have to figure that out more so than anything else right now because if we learned anything from last year, it's how important the offensive line is. I mean, it's borderline as important as the entire defense, it feels like.
Well, no worries. We did figure it out. We got Johnson squared now. Fred Johnson came in for Matt Pryor and helped his team come back.
Is
Uh,
he slated to start this week? Do you know?
Last I heard, Lane Johnson's expected to play. It was a one
That's
game.
crazy.
It was a
You
one
know what's
game
crazy
thing.
about that is they said he got what was it, a stinger,
A neck stinger.
and they act like oh it's just it's like you sprained your
It's a,
ankle or
it's a
something,
bee
and
sting. It's a
and
stinger.
and if you look into it, it's like your nerve is like
Yeah,
permanently damaged. It's not okay.
it's not a stinger.
It's yeah. It's quite out like a bee sting is probably supposed to be like oh that's all it feels like, but
That's a
that's
stinger.
not at all what it sounds like.
Yeah, no, but um, no, I'm with you. And there's a lot of times Lane Johnson. There's a handful of times Lane Johnson in his career has come back, and it's just like you just shake your head like, oh, he's back out there.
I know Lane Johnson, only one I've seen this year at least, who pretty much said he was anti tush push because of how much weight it was putting on him, basically.
Yeah, I think did Jordan Malata agree with him? I thought one other guy agreed with them.
I
I
thought
can't remember.
Mylotta just said he was tired of talking about it. I didn't think it
Yeah,
was
he did.
it
He
was
said
a
that most recently. I know. I thought he said something in the offseason.
he
You're
might
right.
have. I that's what I'm just talking like this
Um,
season.
no, yeah, I think. Yeah, I
It's
can't
it's
imagine that offensive line,
yeah, exactly, dude. And that's what like
especially the center. I mean, he's down at the bottom of the whole thing. I mean, obviously it's Kelsey for a while, but Cam Jurgens now. You snap that ball, and you're first one on the ground. Everyone else is jumping on top of you.
yeah, I think the Eagles center, if you're gonna keep running the tush push, needs to be one of the top paid players on the team. That's for sure.
You know what they should do is get a center that just does that play, so he doesn't
I,
get beat up the rest of the game. He
I
just
mean,
comes
I
in.
kind of don't hate that. Like, it feels very much like going and getting a soccer player to be your kicker, like get an expert at just this one specific thing for this one specific purpose. Like, yeah, I don't hate
Speaking of kicker, shout out to Jake Elliott for the start he's having this year. I mean, coming off of last year,
He is having a
he
phenomenal.
looks back. It almost like
Yeah,
makes me like I don't want to use it as an excuse, but with how he's been back to normal, I almost want to say he was like fighting through some like groin or hamstring or
he
some type of
probably
leg
did.
injury
Yeah.
last year because like to
And
go from
if
that
he
good to that bad now this good again is just wild in my
and
opinion.
it's one of those things too where if he had a bad, I'll say groin or leg injury last year, a kicker says they're injured. They're not coming back. It's a kicker.
Yeah, he's not saying
No,
it.
so of course he's not. So that's what I have to agree with you. I have to think he's fully back. I'll say my apology. If I'm going to apologize to anyone today, it's Jake Elliott because I definitely said last year was going to be the last time he played on the team.
Yeah, I forgot you did say that. I would not remember. I wasn't calling you out there.
But I feel like the only thing I didn't emphasize was that I think the importance of spreading out the game is to open up the game itself. And the obvious specifics is to open up the run game for Barkley. I think I mentioned that. But to elaborate on it, we really need to at least get some slants or other short passes or just plays need to be mixed in to open up the run game in the sense of like they don't know what's coming. I think that's what's really important when it comes down to what's going on with the Patullo offense. And going to Hertz's comments about being conservative, I think that's where he's coming from. I think he knows that's gonna work, and he is tired of waiting for Patullo to figure it out. And I don't think it's necessarily that Patullo's bad at his job. I think it's they need to work together to get that open, get that game opened, and get the running game going. And very, very, very specifically, I just think it needed a moment. It needed a moment to click, and it was this game. I find it hard to believe we're gonna go into whether win or lose. I find it hard to believe we go into Tampa Bay and see the same conservative play calling we've been seeing.
Yeah, I think it starts with the deep ball. I want to see him keep trying to go deep. You saw the 33-yard touchdown to Dallas Goddard. You saw the one big pass to AJ Brown. I think that causes the safety to get out of the box and go cover the receiver, and it opens up a chance for Barkley to get that big run. And I think that's something he hasn't been able to do so far this year. And that kind of all depends on the defense, and I think that's where it's going to be interesting to see the play calling from this team against the Buccaneers team and Todd Bowles, who has had the. I mean, just tell how it is. Like they've had the Eagles' number recently, and they've found ways to stop it. And I get it. I think it was last year. We didn't have everybody healthy. I think that was the game some people missed, and Buccaneers blew us out, and that was kind of the wake up call for this team. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. Do you play? And I think it is. I think it's important to go down there and take your chances early on before you kind of get into that defensive conservative play calling, which be interesting to see because I feel like their defense will call similar style to the Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo with the blitzing and the high pressure that they try to get after on the quarterback. So I'll be curious to see if they go similar to that Chiefs game plan or their own thing here. But I think to open up the run game, it's got to start with the deep ball.
And I'm going to even throw out there like the obvious things is you have AJ Brown, you have Devontae Smith, you have Dallas Goddard, like three strong weapons, right? Three strong weapons in the backfield. I'm gonna give my flowers to Jahan Dotson, who stepped up in week one and had, I think, 60 yards or close to it.
Yeah,
I remember he
hit
had that
the
one
big
deep
play.
ball, and just like it's just a matter of like he might not be the weapon that Smith or Brown is, but like if you get everyone rotating in, even Dotson, like it truly becomes a we go back to the conversation with Hertz, right? He's surrounded by so many weapons that it's just there's no way he can fail. Well, that's true if you use them all. That's the problem.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, Dotson stepped up big when he's had to, like you said, that game. He had the big catch in the Super Bowl, so he just waits for his number to be called and he's ready to go. Um, but
I,
yeah,
I
it's
like his
tough.
attitude. I like what he's bringing. Like
Just because
he's
he went to Penn State. Don't.
that's very true. That's very true. Hey, we got rid of Sanders. Like besides Barkley's the obvious Penn Stater, but like I have to have another guy I can like.
All right, there you go. I got Dotson. Yeah, these two guys can get you ready for Saturday.
Uh, Andrew, before we wrap up here, I thought maybe give me your. I don't know if you watched these games, but other games around the NFL in Week 3. Dallas losing to Chicago Bears. Quick thoughts on that.
Cowboys defense without Parsons is officially just terrible. I mean, Bears did what they want. Caleb Williams threw the ball deep. He went short. I mean, they ran the like it was. I tell you what, that the Cowboys offense can be as good as they are. Obviously, they got weapons, but I mean, no, without that defense at this point, I don't know if they're making the playoffs.
How about New York Giants? I thought could have beat the Chiefs, lose, and then as of today, Tuesday, September 23rd, officially they've named Jackson Dart the starter.
Yeah, that was a. I think you saw a lot of problems on the offensive end there for the Giants. So I'm not. I'm kind of surprised they're making the move. I do feel bad for Jackson Dart at this point. I don't know. I did look at his schedule because I was curious, and he is about to get a rude awakening. He's going to get his welcome to the NFL movement quick. He got the Chargers who are 3-0. Then he's got the Eagles. Then he's got no, sorry, is the Chargers, Saints, which he can beat. Then he's got the Eagles, and then he's got the then is the Lions, and then the Eagles again. So
Yeah,
have
but
fun
it's
with
one of
you.
those things where you kind of need your the invincible moment where you just get hit and hit the
I
ground.
know,
Welcome to the NFL. Like that's you just that needs to happen.
yeah.
And this team is not expected to win this year anyway. So
No,
just
I
start
agree.
them.
I agree with you, but it could be some tough games
In
for him.
my
So
opinion,
those fans don't give up on him that quick.
in my opinion, Russell Wilson never should have started ever.
No, I
Like
should have gone with Dart from the beginning. I agree.
correct. At least at that point, you know it's he knows it's his team to learn, as
Yep.
opposed to now it's oh, do I earn the spot or is Russ going to get his spot back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is a definition washed quarterback and never should have like he should have either started on the bench or he never should have been on this team at all.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%.
And I do will say I again not going to talk about Tampa Bay right now, but lastly, Kansas City. I forget if they're going into Baltimore or Baltimore is going to Kansas City, but Kansas City playing Baltimore week 4, both teams at 1-2. How about that? That one of those two teams is going to be 1-3 after next
God,
week.
that's crazy. That's unbelievable. I mean, especially with the quarterbacks there and everything.
Yep.
We talk about coming in to the year. There's the teams in the AFC. You're like, okay, see you in the Super Bowl. Um, but nah, I'm shocked, and we'll see which one's able to bounce back. If you ask me, who needs it more, I lean Chiefs because they haven't looked right yet. And at this point, that division is going to be pretty good. You already have the Chargers 3-0, and they already lost that. So I'd say if I had to pick one, I think the Chiefs need that one a little bit more going forward.
I think the Chiefs need it more. I anticipate my choice would be on the Ravens to win. I think they're
That's not what I said, though.
I oh very I see it's all about the wording. I agree. I think they need it, but I think it's because the Chiefs look so bad.
Yeah, so
I think the Chiefs record accurately reflects them, whereas I don't think Baltimore's record accurately reflects them.
yep, no, I agree. I'm blanking on who the first loss was to. I can't remember if it was a bad loss or not.
It was the international game. Who was it to? Right? It
No,
was
the Chiefs was the Chargers. So I'm trying. I meant the Ravens.
oh, you meant the Ravens.
The
Hold
Chiefs were
on.
the national game, correct, against the Chargers. Um,
Oh, they lost to Buffalo in their first game.
that's right. That's right. That's not. So yeah. So you have those two. Yeah. So your three losses would be the Bills, Lions, and Chiefs. I mean, that's not bad. I mean,
No,
I guess the
like
Chiefs
even
want to
if
be a
they
better.
lose this week, it's not like Baltimore's out of the run. Like
Yeah,
you look at that and you're like, wow, they played all the playoff teams in their first 4 weeks,
yeah,
except for the Browns.
that's crazy.
That'll wrap it up here. So thank everyone for listening to Philly Sports Now, Philly Fan Podcast. You can find us in social media. Everything's in the description below. I don't think I said today, so make sure you're following on Spotify and share with your friends. Tell them that they're a bunch of bitches if they are mad at Patullo. And if you think we're a bunch of bitches, tell us why in the comments below or unsubscribe. Get at me. I don't care. And as always, go birds. Good night.